Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Jay Mason inside the time machine, playing the best of new and old school hip hop, R&B, and everything else in between. Right now on the phone with me, I have Danny Wood, member of the late '80s, early '90s pop group New Kids on the Block. Danny Wood, welcome to the time machine. How you doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm good, man. The international fans and stateside fans of New Kids are gonna appreciate me for this one.
Oh yeah,
All right.
Cool.
All right, now let's go ahead and get this started. Now, first, tell me what it was like growing up in Dorchester and paint a picture for those of us that never been to the northeastern part of the United States, let alone Massachusetts.
I guess it's comparable to growing up in like Brooklyn in New York. It's a neighborhood in Boston, and pretty diverse neighborhood where you had different sections, of ethnicities in different parts of the neighborhood. But very much, we all grew up during busing. We all went to public schools, so we were the white kids bused to the all-black schools. And, for me, it was a great experience. It was tough at times, but I definitely wouldn't change anything because it definitely has, made me who I am.
Right, and how far is Dorchester from Roxbury?
It's they're right next door to each other.
Okay, now, what were you doing prior to New Kids on the Block?
Well, this was during the time of when, like, Eric B. and Rakim was, first breaking out, and, Slick Rick and Dougie Fresh, and I was dancing, I was break dancing in a local group in Boston. So I had been doing that, and I also had been singing before in choir and stuff like that.
Okay, now, how did you hear about the auditions for New Kids on the Block?
Well, I heard through Donnie Wahlberg, who's a member of the New Kids on the Block. I heard through him. We had been going to school together since first grade, so we were best friends. And he heard about the auditions through, I don't even remember how he heard about it, but he told me, and he was like, yo, you got to come try out for this group. Maurice Starr, the producer of New Edition, is starting a new group, but it's going to be all white guys that could sing and dance, and he's like, you'd fit in perfect. And I went and tried out probably a week later.
And you passed the audition with flying colors, right?
I don't know about flying colors,
but you got in.
I did my thing. I hadn't been singing, regularly, but I always had the training, so I went in there and did my thing, and it all worked out.
Because I believe Donnie was the first one to get picked, and he went ahead and recruited Jordan, John. Mark was originally in the group, right, but he later left, right?
Yeah, well, me and John tried out the same day, and Mark it was originally Donnie and Mark, and Mark dropped out, and then Jordan auditioned, and then he brought John the same day as me. So me and John both auditioned the same day, and then Joe came later. We had to kind of search and find Joe, to find a younger kid that could sing, kind of like the Michael Jackson or the Jackson 5 type thing. And it took a little bit of looking around.
Right. Whatever happened to Jamie Kelly, who was originally in the group?
Well, Jamie just he really, in all honesty, he wasn't he wasn't a great dancer, he wasn't a great singer, so it was kind of like, it was eventually going to happen that he was, we were going to have to start looking for someone else or keep it a four-piece.
Right, because I had saw in the Behind the Music, Jordan was saying how Jamie's parents felt that the group wasn't a sure bet, so they pulled him out so that he could focus more on school.
No, that's not it was a group decision.
Right.
Not really. I don't even remember meeting Jamie's parents. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was a group decision that he wasn't going to cut it in the long haul.
Right. So kids don't ever quote Eat You Hollywood Story.
Come on, man. I didn't even do that thing, so it's like, where are they getting their quotes from and everything? They're not getting all the right information anyway. So.
Right. Now tell me about those early years.
The early years of the New Kids was really tough, man. We went through a kind of training that, the groups that came after us don't even know what it's like. I mean, we basically, for the first year, performed in front of all black crowds, throughout Boston, and then on to the Apollo in New York. And, that was our training. That was the way Maurice Starr, like, was going to get us ready, for the mainstream. He was like, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. And it worked, man. It really made us have the ability to win over the crowd.
Right, and most casual fans don't notice that your guys' original name was Ninook.
Oh, wow, you're really pulling it out, man. Yeah.
Yeah, now how did that name come about? Did Maurice come up with it?
Look, yeah, that was strictly a Maurice thing. That was just like some crazy name. I guess there was some thing called Ninook of the North or some like Sasquatch, abominable snowman character. I don't know. It was some crazy thing he had, and we never liked the name. And then we went in one day to record this song called New Kids on the Block, and we started getting at him like, yo, this is a good name for the group. Let's change it to this. And, it didn't take long, and he was like, yeah, that's a good name.
Right, and you guys released your debut album back in 1986, right?
Yeah.
And it was like received very little. Be My Girl got played up in Boston, but then it came and went. And then Columbia was like, first album didn't do too well. So I heard that Maurice and Dick went to the brass and decided to go ahead and beg to give you guys another shot with Hangin' Tough.
That's not really the truth. I mean,
go ahead and set the record straight.
Well, obviously, when the first album failed, Maurice Starr and Dick Scott, our manager, did ask, Columbia not to drop us from the label, which tends to happen after you have a flop album. But Cecil Holmes, who worked for Columbia at the time, was the man who said, look, we got to keep these guys. I'm telling you, they're going to be big. And without him, we would have never had Hangin' Tough or any success whatsoever, because he basically convinced, Tommy Mottola, Donnie Einer, and those guys to keep us at Columbia.
Right. Now let's back up to when you guys went on Apollo and Soul Train and performed The Right Stuff and Please Don't Go Girl. Now, what was it like for you guys to perform at a crowd where it's predominantly African American and you guys are doing basically pop R&B?
For us, it wasn't anything new at that time. We knew what we had to do. We felt like we could get the job done because we had been through our very first show ever in Boston was at a thing called the Kite Festival. And, people have been known to get shot there and jump there, and it's a big festival where people are supposed to be floating kites and everything, but it's really a place where kids went to get in trouble and to like talk to girls and to see music groups perform. And that was our first show. And we got booed and things thrown at us, and I remember there was records flying through the air at us. And so by the time we got to the Apollo, it was like it was not that it was a piece of cake, believe me, we were all nervous and like, this is the Apollo, legends have performed there. But we had confidence that we could do it.